My name is Margaret Collins. I'm 59 years old, a widow living in a quiet suburb just outside Portland, Oregon. The kind of neighborhood where folks still wave from their porches and the biggest excitement is the annual block party. I've spent the last 18 years as an office manager at Caldwell and Walker, a mid-sized law firm downtown. It's not the stuff of dreams, filing motions, scheduling depositions, keeping the attorneys from losing their minds, but it's steady work, and steady is what I've built my life around. I raised 2 kids on my own after my husband Tom passed away in a car accident when they were teenagers. Emily, my daughter, just turned 32, and Luke, my son, is 29. I've poured everything into them, making sure they never felt the pinch I did growing up in a rundown mill town back east. Sacrifices? Sure, plenty. But that's what you do for family. Or so I thought. Last Tuesday started like any other. I was up at 6, brewing coffee in my cozy kitchen with the faded floral curtains Tom and I picked out years ago. The house is small, a 2-story craftsman with creaky floors and a backyard garden I tend to on weekends. I checked my email while the coffee dripped, expecting the usual spam or a bill reminder. But there it was, an email from Emily. No subject line, just her name in bold. I smiled, figuring it was a quick check-in. We'd talked wedding plans a couple weeks back. She's marrying Andrew, a tech guy from California in Napa Valley. I'd already wired $30,000 to cover the venue deposit, the photographer she'd obsessed over since her college days, and those fancy florists who charge an arm and a leg for peonies. I was thrilled to help. It felt like the culmination of all those late nights and skipped luxuries. I clicked open, still smiling. Mom, it began. Not dear Mom or even hi Mom, just Mom. Like I was a label on a file folder. My heart dipped a little, but I kept reading. She explained that she, Andrew, and his family had finalized the guest list. After much thought, they decided it was best if I watched the wedding via live stream instead of attending in person. Andrew's mother was particular about keeping things intimate, she said. Guest count and all that. Then, at the end, the kicker, if you want to be a part of it, you can watch through the Google Meet link we've created. Should be just like being there. LOL. LOL? Like it was some funny meme? Not my own daughter's wedding. I sat there staring at the screen, the cursor blinking like it was mocking me. My coffee went cold in the mug. No tears came, no shaking hands. Just this quiet shift inside, like the earth had cracked open beneath me, but I hadn't fallen in yet. I felt discarded. Like an old receipt you'd crumple and toss after the purchase. I typed back 4 words. Sure, enjoy your big day. No emojis, no exclamation points, just that. And I hit send knowing those words would land heavier than any outburst. I didn't want a fight. I wanted the silence to scream for me. I closed the laptop, drained the cold coffee, and got ready for work. Slipped into my sensible black slacks and blouse, grabbed my tote bag with the firm's logo faded from years of use. The drive to the office was a blur. Oregon's early spring chills seeping through the car windows, the evergreens lining the highway looking more somber than usual. My mind kept looping. How did we end up here? I gave everything. After Tom died, I was left with a mortgage, 2 grieving teens, and a pile of bills. I remember nights at the kitchen table, staring at the checkbook, deciding between Emily's dance lessons or fixing the leaky roof. I chose the lessons every time. Weekends? Extra shifts at the firm. Vacations? Canceled. My own birthday? A quick cake from the grocery store, eaten alone after the kids went to bed. I told myself there'd be time for me later. Spoiler, there wasn't. Emily changed majors twice in college, art history to marketing, then to communications. Each switch meant more tuition, more books. I paid without complaint. When she moved to New York for a job that lasted 6 months, I covered the security deposit, the flight, even shipped her winter coats. At 27, after her second big breakup, she called sobbing at 2 a.m. I flew out the next day, held her while she cried, brewed chamomile tea in her tiny walk-up apartment that smelled like takeout and regret. Luke, when he and his fiancée wanted a house, I co-signed the loan and handed over 10 grand for the down payment. No scorekeeping. That's motherhood, right? Unconditional. But that email made me feel like an ATM machine, useful until the funds dry ran. At the office, I buried myself in paperwork, typing up briefs with mechanical precision. Robert, my boss, a kind-eyed man in his 60s who remembers everyone's coffee order, stopped by my desk around 10. "You look like you've seen a ghost, Margaret," he said, setting down a latte from the cafe downstairs. Extra foam, just how I like it. I wanted to spill it all. My daughter just uninvited me from her wedding. But instead, I forced a smile. Rough night, that's all. He nodded, didn't pry. That small kindness nearly broke me. In the whirlwind of hurt swirling in my head, it was a reminder that I still mattered, even if my own blood didn't see it. Lunchtime came and my phone buzzed. Emily's name flashed like a warning light. Texts piled up. "Mom, please answer. We need to talk. This isn't funny." A voicemail I didn't play. I sat there, latte in hand, staring out the window at the rainy Portland streets. Maybe it was time to stop being the fixer, the one who always picked up. Maybe it was time to let them feel the weight of their choices. That afternoon, clarity hit like a freight train. No yelling, no drama, just action. After work, instead of heading home, I drove to First Federal Bank, the brick building a few blocks from the office. Carlos, the manager, a warm, efficient guy with a mustache and a knack for remembering details, greeted me like an old friend. "Mrs. Collins, what brings you in?" I sat across from him, purse on my lap, voice steady as steel. "I need to cancel a wire transfer, the one to the Napa venue." He blinked, checked his screen. "The $50,000 one? Hasn't processed yet. You're sure?" I nodded. Circumstances changed. He hesitated, but processed it. 50 grand. On top of the 30 I'd already sent. 80 total for a wedding I was supposed to watch like some Netflix special. I signed the forms and walked out, the cool air hitting my face like freedom. By the time I got home, my phone was a war zone. 9 missed calls from Emily, 2 from Luke. A voicemail. "Mom, please don't do this." I powered it off, poured a glass of the red wine I'd saved for Thanksgiving, the one Emily was supposed to share before she bailed for work. I took it to the porch, watched the sun dip behind the fir trees. Birds sang, a dog barked down the street. Peaceful, almost. But memories flooded in. Birthdays I planned solo, kids too busy to call. Holidays where I set an extra plate, hoping. The new shoes I skipped, driving my old Honda for 14 years. Vacations postponed indefinitely. And Andrew's mother, some society type who'd known Emily for what, 2 years? Her say mattered more than mine? The woman who'd bandaged every scraped knee, soothed every heartbreak? I thought of that LOL, like my exclusion was a punchline. And for the first time, I thought of myself as not Mom, but Margaret, a woman who deserved peace, dignity, a life not defined by what she could give, who wanted mornings without dread, evenings without obligation. Around 9, the doorbell rang. I considered ignoring it, but peeked through the curtain. Luke, disheveled in his office shirt, tie askew. He barged in as I opened the door. "Mom, why aren't you answering? Emily's freaking out." I closed the door softly. "Hello to you two." He paced, phone in hand. "She says you're not coming now, that you're being difficult." I laughed, a sharp, bitter sound. Difficult?
For skipping a wedding I was disinvited from? He shifted. Andrew's parents are traditional, Mom. They're paying most of it. I arched a brow. I paid 30 grand already, was about to send 50 more. That's not tradition, that's bankrolling. His face paled. 50? Mom, they're counting on that. The venue, the food. Not my problem, I cut in. His voice rose. Of course it is. She's your daughter. And I'm her mother, one told to stay home and watch from afar. He raked his hair. You always make it about yourself. That did it. The dam broke, but softly. Get out, Luke. He froze. What? Out. I've given everything and I'm done being the villain in a love story I funded. He stared, then left. The door clicked shut, echoing like thunder in my chest. No guilt, just liberation. The next morning, 43 missed calls, texts escalating from guilt trips. Why are you doing this? Childish. To panic. Then you called. Payment failed. We'll lose it all. At 3:24 a.m., I don't understand why you're doing this to me. I sipped coffee, smiling faintly. She didn't get it. How my sacrifices were the invisible threads holding her world together, assumed they'd always be there. An email popped in. Please don't ruin my wedding. She begged, said they'd lost the deposit, florists threatening to bail. Andrew's parents furious, calling me unreasonable. Then, we can talk about you attending, but we need the funds first. Bartering my presence like a commodity. No real apology, just desperation. I closed it, unanswered. At noon, Robert invited me to lunch, the new Italian spot. I almost said no. Habit. But I went. Over pasta Alfredo, he shared grandkid stories, eyes twinkling. Then gently, You seem lighter today, Margaret. I told him everything. He listened, no fixes, just, boundaries are the hardest part of love. You did right. His hand squeezed mine briefly. Validation washed over me. Back at work, more calls ignored. That evening, home felt serene. But someone on the steps, Sophia, Emily's childhood bestie. Sleepovers, cookie bakes, she'd been like a third kid. Mrs. Collins, she said softly. I invited her in for tea. Emily sent you? She nodded, eventually. She's a mess. Lost the venue, florist. Andrew's parents might cancel. I poured tea. She's panicking. Knows she's messed up. Is there anything to change my mind? Sophia asked. I paused. An apology? Maybe. But words in desperation ring hollow. No. True love doesn't wait till you're cut off to value you. She nodded, hugged me, left. The wedding? Scrambled to a backyard affair, per Luke. Small, no frills. I wasn't invited. Fine by me. Emily's last email? Tearful, half apology, justifications. I archived it. No anger left. Just peace. These days, I wake up unburdened. Work, novels, pottery class on Thursdays, dinners with friends who see me. A new role. If my presence is optional, so's my support. I wish I'd learned sooner. You don't burn out to warm others. Self-love, that's the real strength.